Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. My name's Soleil and I garden in mid-Michigan and I am in a Zone 5B. Welcome if you're new here. I appreciate you joining me. We've got a fun video today. It's all about new plants and new shoes. So we're going to do a little bit of a clearance haul and it's going to be fun because not only are we going to talk about the plants, but we're actually going to plant some of the plants into the landscape. And we're going to do it using some of these new boots that I got. So these boots were actually sent to me for free. So I just wanted to let you know that up front. They sent them out to me to test them and be able to tell you guys a little bit about them. These are from HISEA and I have found that they fit well and they have excellent quality. I was able to get my orthotics into them, which is good because I have custom orthotics. So for those of you who have them, know they should fit. I'm a size 6 and these fit me for size 6, so that's awesome. So we're going to wear them today and I'll let you know at the end of the video how they performed while we planted. We're going to be planting these daisies that are by Monrovia, and these are a pretty cool looking daisy. They have kind of an interesting little swirl between the inner yellow and the outer white, and I think that's pretty cool. These are called Sweet Daisy Birdie Daisy, and they won some awards and are really good at reblooming. I bought these on clearance. They were originally $12.98, so they were each $7 a piece. And they didn't look like this when I bought them, but I did buy them a few days ago and I cleaned them up and they pretty much look like a plant that you might buy at the nursery, right? So it's pretty exciting. I have a garden tour actually coming up, so I want to fill in this spot a little bit more with some things that don't look like they got hit by a blow dryer like they did. So a little more information about this plant. That one doesn't have a tag, of course. So a little more information about this Sweet Daisy Birdie Daisy is that it takes full sun and it is going to be liking a little bit of moisture in the soil but not too much, and it grows to 24 inches tall by 24 inches wide. So a nice size but not too tall. So it's a good front of the border plant, kind of mid border, and it goes to Zone 5 and it blooms pretty much all summer. All right, let's get planting. Everybody always asks me about this shovel when I have it in a video, so I'll tell you this is the Root Slayer shovel and I have a link to it in the description. And if you like these boots, they have lots of different styles at HISEA. There's also a link to those in the description if you're interested. Again, I'm not selling anything, but they did give a discount code, so if you like them, use the code OASIS. I also got asked questions about my hat in the last video. So this hat is from a company called Cleopatra. I got it a few years ago, and Cleopatra is a company that focuses on sun protection. So it has all sorts of interesting clothing and such to protect you from the sun. I always like to share info about some of the great garden products that I have and use so that you guys can use them as well if you like them. Oh, I don't think that's deep enough. Cool thing about this hat is it actually has kind of like a wider rim in it, which means you can kind of bend it and flip it up if you want to. And it has a really wide rim, which is nice. All right, let's see if this works. I think the heuchera that's right here is just gonna die. It's been pretty tortured, but the roots are still pretty firm in the ground, so I'll just leave it for now. We'll see. I'll pull it out before the garden tour if it still isn't doing anything, or maybe move it somewhere else. I actually bought 5 of this kind of daisy just to fill out this bed again some more. And we have gotten a little bit of rain, but not much. I've got lots of these plum pudding heucheras, so I'm just going to dig this one out. That'll make just the right amount of room for it. Now this is kind of in the way of the groundhog's trail, that where he digs a hole through to our neighbor's garden, so I'm really hoping that he doesn't come in here and eat my daisies. These are pretty root bound, so I think I'm just going to take the shovel to the bottom of it here and take that off. Yeah, that'll help get the roots a little bit more loosened up and growing in the right direction. I think these daisies are going to fit right in, especially with that hydrangea, the white of that in the back. Kind of brighten up and lighten up this border a little bit. Got lots of dark colors in here right now. These were all in need of water, so I watered them really well, soaked them. See where that groundhog goes back behind those daisies? It's quite the trail. Right, let's get these watered in. All right, let's get these watered in. Again, I cleaned these up from looking like they were about ready to die. So I cut off all the dead flowers, and hopefully they will love their new home over here, be able to spread out those roots that have been so cramped, and really enjoy life and start putting out some blooms. Again, we did get some rain, but not a ton, so I'm really giving these a good soaking as I put them in. Well, these boots are working out pretty well. They definitely keep your feet a little bit warm, so I would recommend them very much for cool weather. I think they'll be great this fall. They also have some fall colors on them, so I think they're gonna look very fall-ish when the seasons turn. And I will say they also come with a warranty that you can register them for when you get them, so that's pretty cool. The humidity right now in Michigan is like out of control. It's pretty crazy. All right, that looks good. Let's take a look at what we got done. All right, they're looking good. They're nice and perky right now, and you'll definitely see them in my next garden tour video, so you'll be able to see how they're looking with all the other plants. All right, let's go get the next ones in. Next up, we have a Rainbow Sensation Weigela. So you know, if you've watched my videos before, that I have a couple of these already, and there's actually one in the back of this bed. So I think this is going to be a really nice place. I'm continuing to add layers to the garden, and so a shrub layer is really important to have that height. It's also really low maintenance, so if you're not super into doing deadheading and those kind of tasks, shrubs can be a really nice way to go. So let's talk about this shrub real quick. Again, it's called the Rainbow Sensation, and it's a Weigela, and it is hardy down to zone 4. It blooms a beautiful pink color, and it goes in full sun. And even though this bed looks like it's in shade right now, it gets full sun in the morning because it faces east. And this gets to about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So I think it's going to be perfect for this spot. I'm going to actually dig a daylily out from here and put the Weigela in its place. If you're doing any digging in your yard or weeding, one of the gardening tips that I have for those of you who may be new to gardening is to do it after it rains, because the soil is moist and the roots come out much easier. Now this is a garden on a slope, so the front of the bed is higher than the back of the bed, and what that means is when I plant this, I'm going to have the shrub at the height of the front of the bed, and it will be a little bit above ground in the back of the hole to ensure that it doesn't get buried. Always worse to bury your shrubs and trees too deep than it is to plant them too high. Let's see if this is deep enough. I also want to kind of find the front. Is that the front? Yep, that looks good. So you can see how this just meets the front of the hole, whereas the back is probably about a half inch or maybe even an inch below the top of this root ball. But that's the way it should be. So we're just going to backfill now. And some of this soil I'll mound up a little bit behind it, just to help catch some of the rain as it goes down the slope. And then with shrubs, I really like to get contact with the soil by stepping things down in. All right, that looks good. Let's get some water on it. All right, well, I will be transplanting this daylily that I just dug up to where the hostas are over there because they're getting too much sun and they've just been a filler plant for a little bit, and there's some other lilies that are over there, so that will help to create even more lilies in the same spot, which I think will look nice. All right, let's get this watered in. It is so hot outside right now, you guys, because of the humidity. I'm going to stop planting and we're just going to go ahead, and after I finish watering this in, we'll take you out front and we'll just look at some of the plants and tell you a little bit more about them. And I'll have to come back through and take this tag off, but we'll do that after the video's over. Because the shrub has roots that go really deep, I want to give it a really good thorough soaking. So I have now folded my hat up. You can see it's got that wire rim on it that helps keep it up so I can see you guys better. But I had to change out my boots because they were so warm. So I imagine these are going to be really great in fall weather. But right now, way too hot for the summer. So great boot, neoprene, waterproof. I love it. They also sent me one other pair of boots right here. And what I would say is I like these boots as well, made out of the same material, a little bit shorter, and they fold up or down. The only issue I had with these is that they're really wide and really long. So I'm a size 6. They sent me a size 6. These are definitely for a size 7. I even sometimes can wear a 6.5. So for these to be too big for me, even with some orthotic inserts in, I would say if you order from this company, you probably want to order this particular model a size up. No, a size down. So if you're size 7, order a size 6. They have lots of super cute colors. So now I've changed over to these, and these are probably, I don't know, they're super comfortable. I like them. They fit my feet just kind of like ballet slippers, and they're very comfortable. So I'm going to be wearing these the rest of the video because they're much cooler. So here we have some clearance plants that I've got now. I'm going to put a picture of this plant up on the screen. When I first brought it home, before I cleaned them up, I have 4 of these right here, and I want you to take a look at that picture, and I want you to tell me, would you buy this plant? If so, how much would you actually pay for it on clearance? These are $18.98 normally, and these are Cleopatra Coneflowers. We've talked about these in another video, and so I'm excited to have some more of these because I really want to add some more of that bright color to my yard. Yellow's growing on me right now, and I like this soft buttery yellow. So this blooms summer and fall, and it's hardy down to zone 5, and they get 18 inches tall by 24 inches wide, so a nice compact plant as well. And they take full sun. So these were originally $18.98, which means at Lowe's the clearance price would be half of that, which means they would be about $9.50. I looked at them and I said, there's no way I would pay that. So I loaded them up on my cart though, and I thought, these are about to die. These might go in the dumpster. So I talked to a manager, and they said I could have them for $2 a piece. So I spent $8, which is less than, yeah, they said they probably were going to go in the dumpster the next day. So that's less than what I would have paid for one on clearance. So I think I got a pretty good deal, and I think it's going to be fun for us to watch the growth on these over time. It'll be just something fun for you guys to see how well some plants that look dead can actually do in the right conditions. So I'm just going to keep them in part sun, part shade for now so that they aren't super stressed. Not too much water. I won't let them dry out all the way. And they should do just fine. We'll see. Up next is this beautiful flax by Proven Winners. Is it beautiful? Not yet, but it's going to be. It's called Cloudburst, and this is originally $18.98, so half off, $9.50. And the nice thing about these is that they are shorter flax than many of them. They're about 28 inches tall, and then they spread about 3 feet wide. So I'm thinking about replacing some of my traditional flax that I have in my garden that only bloom at right around August and just bloom in the fall with some of these because they should be a fairly continuous bloomer once they start. So we'll see. They take full sun and they are hardy down to zone 4 and they are good up to zone 8. So they bloom early summer to late summer and they have already bloomed and that's why they're getting rid of them. They do also look like they got a bit scorched and dry during our really dry period, but these will come back. They have really strong roots and they're a really vigorous plant. So flax do well. They're quite tough. So we have a little bumblebee going on right now at the Salvia because the pollinators really love them and I love them too for their beautiful blooms. This one's pretty because it's like a cousin to the Main Night Salvia, and this one actually doesn't have a tag on it, so let me grab another one here. I got 4 of these. These are actually called Sally Rosa April Night, so they're supposed to bloom in spring and summer, so they're supposed to bloom earlier than many of the other salvias, and this is hardy down to zone 4 and it gets 15 inches high, so rather small, by 18 inches wide. So these are a really nice kind of mid front of the border plant and beautiful purple blooms on them. And yes, these had some really ugly spent blooms on them and I've cut them off as well. They have been sitting in my little rehab area for just a couple of days and you can see how well they're already sprouting lots of blooms. So very healthy plants. They just needed a little tending too. Another salvia that I showed you in my recent video was this Salute Blue Ice salvia, and it's beautiful, and the bees just loving that one as well and going from flower to flower. But you can see how after about a week, even though there was barely any green foliage on these, they are bursting back with life. So, and lots of flowers too, that's for sure. I just haven't had time to get them in the ground yet. Next up we have an Easy Elegance rose, and I love these. I have several from this brand in my garden, all of which I bought on clearance. This is a snowdrift rose and has beautiful full blossoms of creamy white. So I think this is going to be absolutely beautiful. It's supposed to also have a hint of apricot, so that should be really beautiful. And it takes full sun, just like most roses, and it's hardy down to zone 4 and about 3 to 4 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. And I gave this a good watering and I trimmed off some of the dead spots on it. And it may look a little sparse right now, but it's coming back with a vigor already. Why don't you check out these rose buds? I mean, there's 2 buds already on this branch. This branch has 3 buds on it. This one's getting ready to form a bud as well. And we have buds on all of the other branches over here as well. So I think this one's going to be just fine. It will need to get in the ground soon, but I'm happy to have it and give it a nice home. Well, thanks again for joining me today. I hope you had fun planting in the garden with me and in learning a little bit more about some of the plants that I've bought. And it'll be fun to watch over time how those Cleopatra coneflowers come back. Thanks again for joining me today to see some new plants and some new shoes. We'll see you next time. Bye!